Good morning, everybody, and welcome to EROAD Live. As you can probably hear behind us, we are going rallying today in the Bosch Motorsport Australia Rally Championship. Rain unfortunately postponed things yesterday. We're about a 20-minute drive to the east of Canberra, Dean, and we're looking forward to
We're going to jump straight in. We are indeed, Rusty. Good to be on the start line here. A big moment here for Harry Bates. Harry, start line. This is a new era for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, interesting feeling. Don't really know what to expect. I haven't done really any testing on fast roads, and today's got a lot of fast in it. So, yeah, I think it's really just going to be an extension of my testing. I don't know what to expect, but we'll have a go.
There's a small amount of being able to sort of drive or transport in on the gravel roads. Did you get a feel or a sense of what you're expecting? Are the road conditions as per your thought?
I think they'll be pretty high grip, to be honest. This side of town, the surface is very different to what we were looking at yesterday, and yeah, I actually think this afternoon's loop in particular could be really great fun with high grip. So I don't know, I hope I'm right. As a driver, that's what you want, so let's see.
Different, obviously, control tyre this year. It seems weird to ask you. Soft or medium?
I'm on softs.
I might go get them. Have a great time.
Thanks.
There you go, Rusty. I can sense some nervous energy from our former champ or carryover champ. Talking a lot about how it's going to be different for him. You know, what's this grip going to be like, and how does he tackle this first stage? He hasn't done a lot of high-speed stuff, he said.
Okay, a couple of quick observations here. In the roll-up, coming off what is a long transport to get to this point, obviously doing the right thing, but you can sense he was trying to feel the car underneath him before we get going. And his brother, Lewis, is parked down the road. So there's kind of a little bit of, in a good way, a little bit of separation happening already, isn't there?
Well, you transport out, helmets off, you find a spot, and then you gear up. And like I just said to Harry in there, that had a bit of a transport lead in there. We testing the brakes, seeing what the surface did. We just had a rain shower, literally, as we came through, which won't really affect the road surface, but it's going to change the fact that we'll have the wipers on. What's the demister setup like? How wet are we, etc., etc.
So we have a block of 3 stages today. The first one is 10.46 Ks long jack. Can we get a little word? Can we have what we can? We've got the okay from Good morning. How are you feeling? We're excited to actually get this underway today, aren't we?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit nervous actually. It's going to be tricky conditions. I reckon there'll be a few surprises out there, but same for everyone, so looking forward to it.
With a little bit of sprinkles happening at the moment, but the road looks a lot better, compared to what we were confronted with yesterday. But do you have to keep an eye on those patches on the road?
Yeah, for sure it'll vary. I think when we go into trees it'll be more slippery and there'll be very slippery patches. So yeah, we just have to watch out and be on our A game.
Bit of added weight on that power stage today too, isn't there?
That's it, yeah, it's all on for that stage.
Go and enjoy.
Thank you.
There he is, Lewis Bates with the eyes on. We'll shut that door properly.
So we're about probably 40 seconds from going, Russ. You can see Harry on the line. Being car one of the difficult parts of being car one as well is the control official getting checked in. I heard them beep the horn. The control officials held the card for a little longer than you would have liked. That's always the sort of the difficult part of being the first sort of lead car on the field. Once then there's a bit of a flow for the other co-drivers and the officials get into the groove and things. So, like you said, even from the sense of getting your card back and getting the paperwork right, there was a sort of a bit of nervous energy there as well.
So 3 stages back to back. The first one, long jack, is 10.46 Ks. It's 38 Ks of competitive this morning, and we kind of do that again this afternoon. What you're looking at here from our cameraman Rob, we're about to get the start. Let's watch this. So off he goes in that beautiful new Rally 2 Yaris. It goes up and over a little rise, ducks down to the right, then you'll see him go left along the ridge line, alongside those trees there, Dean, and then out of sight from us.
To me, slippier than I thought off the line. It didn't dig down a lot, and even up the top there, he struggled to sort of turn that in. So for me, straight away, a sign that this is going to be a fairly slippy stage. We'll have a quick chat to Eddie, try not to get you too wet, mate. Eyes are on, rain's here. How's it feeling out there?
Good, ready to go.
Tassie guys aren't afraid of a bit of rain, are you?
No, we don't dissolve in water. It's not cricket.
Mate, go get a good spot. I'll close the door early because one of the things, Rusty, is these cars are not really set with your traditional demister systems and things. So you get wet yourself, then you get hot as you start to build the stage, can increase the temperature of the cabin so it can mist up. So I know myself as a driver, you try and stay completely dry. So we'll let him sort of go and close the door while this rain shower goes through. One of the other parts that's probably more annoying is Look at the wiper blades on that. They're sort of sticking a little bit on the way through. So unless it's fully raining, the wiper drags and you're sort of trying to, in your mind, turn the wipers on, turn them off, etc.
And just above us, I mean, there are little patches of blue sky creeping through, believe it or not. So cool car, this one. The team, the family have done an amazing job here. And he talked in our preview show yesterday about a real determination to try and win. This is not about just podiums or I mean, he's here for a proper assault, isn't he?
As you should be. At the end of the day, it's nice for them to bring that to the fore, to the media and to the public forum to say, no, we're here to have a crack. And he did a great job last year, was on the podium a lot. This is his time to now go, right, I've done the season, I've done a few of the rounds, got great pedigree. Let's have a listen to Lewis off the line. Let's see if Rob can get them up the top. They're not sure how good our shot's going to be, but I want to look at the braking marker. So see as he comes up the top on the ridge there, he's got a brake and he's broken early a couple of times and dabs at it, but the car just looked a little more settled than Harry up there. Harry looked a little more sideways, is sort of what I was trying to react from.
So as Maguire heads up to the start line, the next of our cars, and it's one you know well, arrives and ready. Here's Scott Petter and Glenn McNeil. What were the observations of Scott in Service Park this morning? Great to have him back in the championship, but now we get down to proper business.
He was the same thing. He obviously had mentioned the fact that he wanted to have a crack at this. Let's see if he'll have a word to us quickly. SP, little rainy out there. How you feeling?
Yeah, great, mate. No, just pretty relaxed. Obviously, there's going to be some slippy bits, particularly under braking, particularly under the trees, but you know, try and get a bit of a cruisy run through this first one and see where we are.
Car 4 is probably a good spot from that point of view.
Yeah, look, you're seeing the marks. Then you're not the Virgin Mary out the front there and seeing the things for the first time. But you know, probably car 10, it starts to get a little bit diabolical.
Enjoy, mate. Go get him.
Thanks, mate.
So a little bit of news. I know you want to debrief what Scott said there. A little bit of news filtering through as well from our competition checker in this series, former Subaru WRC driver in Chris Atkinson. Now, he feels like the patches of damp are worse than yesterday. Obviously, we had more rain overnight, sprinkling here a little bit at the moment. So that's something that the drivers are going to have to factor in, but also discover as I guess they go today. And this can be a really tough stage.
Yeah. I think what you're talking about there, if you look just beyond where Eddie's car is there, sometimes the hard surface is great because it doesn't dig up, but it's slippery on top. It's like that clay surface, you know, when you sort of get on a slippery patch yourself, it's hard packed, but it's slippy. So sometimes when you dig down through the mud, it's more predictable than sliding across the top.
Here we go. Skoda about to set off. What do you make of the launch?
No, fine. I mean, all the launch controls are going to be fine off the line here. I want to see him up on the braking area a little more flamboyant than Lewis. Felt a little bit like Harry there, but you know, fully committed. You can see he's got the eyes on already as Scotty moves forward.
Great combo this. Fed up with Glenn McNeil. So much experience.
I just mentioned
older specs Skoda compared to what we saw with Maguire before, and then we turn our attention here to a Hyundai now.
Yeah, Alex Rouleau coming up. He loves the fast roads. In actual fact, I think, you know, if we ran yesterday, that's a little more tricky, and that's where the notes and the experience comes in. He is a bit more about commitment and stuff. He can sight some of the road. Got a great co-driver in Steve Glennie aboard. I think he'll have a smile. So I think you'll have a chat to him, Rusty, and see, but he'll be pretty pumped to have a go.
Let's see if we can dive in here and have a word. Can we have a word? Yep, we've got the okay. Good morning, sir. You excited to actually get down to business?
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. It was a bit of a slow day yesterday. I feel like I've been in Canberra for 3 months, so yeah, looking forward to it.
You had a bit of fun with those in Service Park, but now we get the eyes on, we get serious. What do you make of the conditions that we've got here this morning and how you're going to attack this first stage?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit slippery. I can't start driving these cars in the wet, so I don't think it'll be too bad. I think these roads hold up pretty well. So I guess I can tell you after the first corner.
Get into it, enjoy.
Thanks, mate.
Here he is, Alex Rouleau.
Just a quick observation, Rusty, if you look at Scott Petter, look at the way Scott's lined up. So rather than being on the traditional straight part of the road, because there's a slight left-hander, rather than launching and already upsetting the car, he's lined up on a slight angle, hoping to get a more straight drive, so there's less input. So he's already thinking about, see the rocks are off, he's probably got a better patch of dirt to try and get a bit of grip off, but he's lined up to try and get his start, get a run at the first corner already.
That lends itself.
quite work for him. He had to dial in a little bit of left-hand steer, but let's see him go with the cross the top.
The intent is the 1%ers you talk about, isn't it? So
Spot the lead drivers all do. Looked at similar, probably a little bit more tentative than Eddie through there. Eddie probably been the most committed I can see at the top of the crest there. So we've got obviously the Hyundai now lined up. So those sorts of parts are, like I said, the little 1%ers, you get more experience. You don't just hover at the line and go, well, that's the start line, where do we go? You sort of do look at those sorts of little things.
From Alex's perspective too, having someone like Glennie beside him, who's, you know, an unbelievably good driver in his own right, I mean, that's been great for his growth, hasn't it?
That's why he's in the car. I mean, like you said, accomplished 1 rounds of the Australian Championship at Target Tasmania. So he knows what it's like to drive. So when you've got a young guy who will listen to that sort of thing, it can help tenfold. Plus, very experienced at making notes and things like that.
Dive in here.
Yeah.
This is a great story, isn't it?
It sure is. I chatted to him in the service park. Now we're on the stage, mate. No doubt you're just looking forward to getting up and running.
Yeah, just keen to get out and see what it's like.
I asked Harry because it wasn't like we drove off the main road straight away. You had a little bit of a feel. Does the road feel like you were expecting on the way in with the rain?
Yeah, as expected. I think there'll be a little bit of grip in there, but there'll be some slippery bits. But we've got them in the notes, so we're good.
A rough beats per minute, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, it'll be up there.
About like a workout, mate. Go get them. Have a great time. Another one, Rusty, where we'll see the line here for Alex. See there, he armed the anti-lag really early, which might be the way the Hyundais do, but earlier than everybody else. Up the top, he'll have a look. Couple of goes, a little bit of the road sort of figuring out there for themselves. So for me, he armed it really early, and then he had the launch control going, and then of course it didn't quite launch the way he wanted to. But that's just to set up little tweaks in the involvement. And Steve, I was about to mention as I come off the back of Steve, who was no doubt nervous in his new car, again, a very experienced co-driver, Ben Searcy on board,
exactly.
and in both co-driving rights, but a driver as well. West Australian champion a couple of years back in the Evo, so knows how to drive and put it together.
There you go. Why don't we see if we can have? I've got to go. I've got to dive.
Go to the other side.
Well, that's one of the things about doing this. You're reminded about left and right-hand drive. Can we have a little word? Good morning. How are you?
Oh, it's a bit hot in here. Our blower is like working double time.
It's actually nicer for us to spend a bit of a moment with you because it's a little chillier here. Just your thoughts on how you're going to play this today. It can be tough in here. You know that from the reconnaissance, don't you?
Yeah. Rough stages in here, and it looks like we've got some mixed conditions. So we're just excited to get out on the stages. To be honest, we just want to go have some fun.
You're going to Jordan. There you go. There's Molly. She's putting on the smile, but because we know her, it's like the serious face coming on too. So
I feel like at the moment, I'm not an expert on charge or anything, I feel like he's trying to sort of see where the arm of the anti-lag is. Like he hasn't triggered it. There's a lot of features and new things. He's come from an Evo production-based car. I feel like he's trying to arm the anti-lag and it's not got the right setting in it at the moment. So he's probably, probably only 30, 20 seconds away from going. So he's going to a few free revs and hasn't engaged what I would think anti-lag. It could just be me. It might be the way he does it. Everyone's got their own procedures, but be interested to see whether he has armed that or not. These cars have stage modes and competition modes and stuff. A lot to learn, a lot to take on board. There we go. He's good to go.
cool opportunity for this guy. Big step up in 2024, relishing it, and away he goes. Good launch. Let's have a look at the top of the hill here. What do you make of the braking?
Yeah, a lot earlier than Eddie, as you'd expect. A couple of goes at it. But I'm starting to see, I think Harry does have the worst of the conditions here, which you expect from car one, but it seems like they are digging down and finding a little bit of grip. You know, I said earlier, it just seemed to be really slick on top. We might even be able to view once Molly's taken off, you'll start to see a line starting to exist. So, you know, as they go through the stage, that's why it would, like I said, maybe 5 and 6 could be a good spot to be.
Now, what was the nickname you gave this next car that's rolled up?
I got, just off the cuff, Black Beauty, I think I got, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But Stealth Black, the thing is, they've got some really subtle sign work to it, which is hard to see sometimes, depending sort of on your angles and things like that. So let's go and have a chat to Jamie, who no doubt we want just a nice They said, mate, you're probably just looking for a nice, clean run today.
Yeah, definitely. That's the plan. We'll try to get through smooth. It's a bit wetter than we expected, so we'll see how this first stage goes and judge it from there.
Does that surprised you, how much rain or how wet it was?
Yeah, definitely. We expected to be quite dry, to be honest, but it's still sprinkling now, so I think it'll be much wetter than we anticipated.
What would you take on the road surface on the drive in?
Wet and slippery.
Yeah. And obviously worse than you thought as well.
Yeah, definitely. We expected to be honestly quite dry in most places, but by the looks of it, it's going to be wet the whole way through.
All right, mate. Good luck to you and Brad.
Thank you.
The brothers Luff there. Brad doing a bit of driving himself actually this year in a Subaru, and they swap over. I don't know how they do that, to be fair, to co-drive for each other.
Now, if you saw yesterday in our 7+ coverage, we took the Maguires and did some axe throwing for a story, which was a bit of fun. And we have since recorded a yarn with Jamie Luff and with Scott Petter. You and I went and played pool yesterday with them. We were terrible, but that's another story.
Yeah. Keep
an eye out for that on the broadcast and on our socials in the weeks ahead as we gear up for the next round of the championship in Perth. Ollie about to launch.
A massive anti-lag on that car. You saw a launch and squat. Production car, first of our production cars. Main fixed production category fighting it out. Typical Molly, fairly committed, but it seems like it's getting a little rutted up there as well. It'll be interesting to see the line.
Production Cup, but I mean, obviously in our top 10 runners here in a start list and in an outright sense, right? She could, in these conditions, do you think we could see a bit of a surprise?
I think it'll be hard through here. I think it's way too rough. I think yesterday was probably going to be her day if that had run, etc. So I think today could be difficult for a production car. Just too many bumps, too many hits and things like that.
White Wolf Constructions, Tom Clark's arrived.
Tom's been a long time coming to get you back out in this thing in the ARC. You must be looking forward to it.
Oh, mate, I can't wait. Yeah, look, after last year, I think it's the tempo for me sort of risen a bit over the last 6 months. So, mate, I'm keen to get in there and have a go. And look, we'll step where we need to early and just see what the roads are doing, see what people are doing, and we'll make a call from there.
Is this where it's beneficial to run that classic last year, to have done the stages a little bit, or the conditions are so different that it was more match fitness?
Yeah, look, I've been here a few times. So I do know what we're sort of up for down here. I think the time in the stands, it was just time behind the wheel for me, really. So we stepped back into it early this year again, a couple of weeks before now, just to get into some rhythm. So, look, we'll take it as it comes, but look, we're here to have a go. So we'll see what happens.
Have a great run, mate.
Cheers.
So what's been the observation from you compound-wise? I mean, MRF are our control tyre supply. Given what we've been hit with today and cooler conditions this morning, soft is clearly the go, isn't it?
Oh, it would be, and I think if your car's set up right, you'll be able to take advantage from that. It is very cool out here, the road surface being slick. You know, we had Atco out there clearly saying and reporting that was the case. I only asked Harry about his choice. He was definitely soft, and I know Scott Petter's soft. Just walk up a little bit, Rob. Have a look at the marks that we're starting to get on the line. Let's see where we get the Ford lining up. You can sort of see the hole starting to dig up off the start. Let's go and have a bit of a look. I want to have a quick look at the surface beyond where we've got the Ford. So you can see, Rusty, have a look on the line. You've got the mud patch to the left, and then right in front, we're now dry.
Look at it, yeah.
So Harry Bates is dealing with the left. You've now got like car 9 who gets dry. So look at the first corner. You want to try and make sure you are using where the marks are. That's where the grip's going to be. This is obviously accentuated because it's launch area. Further up, it's still sloshy. But as far as that goes up the top there will be sections where the guys are powering out of the corners and the road will be like that.
We'll stand out of the way here because Clark and Preston are not far off launching. We'll get our final car for this morning's EROAD Live on the Bosch Motorsport Australia Facebook page. Good morning, everybody. It's lovely to have you with us. We are super excited to be getting the 2024 Championship finally underway after rain put us in a bit of a holding pattern yesterday. We've got some excited competitors. A power stage this afternoon that has that little bit of extra importance, that extra kind of weight, if you will. 3 stages this morning. We're coming to you from the very first of the day stages, 10.46 Ks in all.
Unofficial times coming through. Unofficial, yep.
Okay, so times through from stage 7, but it's our first one of the event, obviously. Harry, 6 minutes 44.1. Harry Bates with the quickest time so far. Lewis, a 6:52.0. And then Eddie, 7 minute 10. 651.9. Scott Petter a 651.8. That would put Petter second on the unofficial list at the moment, but Harry up by 3.5 at the split. So as Tom sets off there, just to reflect on some of those unofficial times, that's really promising for that brand new car.
That's an impressive start, particularly being car one. I'm talking about how he's got that slippery road. I did see an unofficial sort of thing coming through the chat that maybe Scott was up at one split, whether he had an issue late in the stage, but this is where these conditions can really separate the times a little bit. You know, you make one little blue or you go wide or lose your confidence. 10K stage, we saw Eddie's probably looks like he's 10 or second a K back. That he looked aggressive early. Maybe he's made a blue as well somewhere.
We'll stay with the start here for Peter Rouleau before we wrap up our Facebook Live this morning. We remind you to check back in across our social channels throughout the course of the day, and we'll be bringing you a wrap-up of our first proper day of competition on 7 Plus a little later this evening, with all sorts of interviews, plus details of what's been happening on the stages and so on. So let's get ready here for Peter Rouleau.
As the sun comes out, mate. A little breaking in the cloud, only a little bit of sun.
That is really, I mean, you look beyond us here, it's cloudy, it's a little misty when we arrived this morning, but it is, you can feel that warmth just starting to creep through, can't you?
Indeed, and like you said, I think it's going to be like that for the day. It's going to be tricky conditions because it's just going to change so much for the drivers.
So good to finally get some.
It's a good feel about it. We're out in the middle of the forest, but there's a great feel. The cars look and sound spectacular.
And just from a mindset standpoint, I mean, yesterday you arrive, you think you're going to be potentially okay. There was the cancellation of the first 3 stages. We thought we might go running in the afternoon. From a procedural thing, which motorsport competitors are so used to, you've got to park all that, reset, and come back and do it all again on the Sunday, don't you?
Do indeed, mate. It's fantastic to be here.
That's a nice way to end it, I think, isn't it?
It sure is, mate. So, didn't quite get his line right as he comes across the top of the hill. Good job as we've got the key cars in there. Tony Sullen's coming on there. He'll do a good job. He's, I think, sort of find his feet with this particular car. He's making the commitment to go to Perth, and he'll be, I think, later in the season, he'll find him at some of the high end of the sheets.
Great work by you, Dean, as always. Wonderful insights. Thank you, too, for your comments along the way. Keep those coming in. That's it from the first proper stage of the 2024 Bosch Motorsport Australia Rally Championship, and we will have more updates for you during the course of the day. Have a ripper one, everyone. Bye for now.